Welcome, everyone. Will the audience please stand and remain standing for the invocation to be given by the Reverend Mary Garner. Reverend Garner is the pastor at Heron Point here in Chestertown. Reverend Garner.
Let us pray. Loving and gracious God, you are the source of all wisdom. We come before you now to ask your blessings on this college, these students and teachers, parents, friends, and staff as they begin a new school year. May Washington College be a lively center for sound learning, new discovery, and the pursuit of knowledge. May all those who teach and all those who learn find you as the source of all truth. Help us to reach beyond easy answers. Challenge us to become our deepest selves. May we find you in our classrooms, our books, our conversations, our friendships, and in the splendor of creation. Open our hearts and minds to your goodness and grace, this day and always. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend. Please remain standing for the singing of the national anthem.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rockets red, the bombs bursting gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, a cappella. I'd also like to thank the Washington College String Trio, directed by Professor Kimberly McCullum, and our students, Emily Iller, Katie Jackson, and Lauren White, who provided the music for the processional today. Please be seated. Mr. Moog, Marshall Gillen, Dr. Walsh, Provost Chamley Wright, Ms. Shepard, President Sullivan, Reverend Garner, students, faculty, staff, friends, and most of all, the members of the Washington College class of 2017, welcome. We are especially pleased to have Dr. Robert Kirkwood with us today, a professor of history and a member of Phi Beta Kappa with a PhD from the University of Rochester. Bob Kirkwood served as the academic dean at Washington College from 1959 to 1966. In 2007, he created the Gerda Blumenthal Phi Beta Kappa Award with a significant gift. This summer, he doubled the size of that endowment. We are grateful to him for his leadership and support for this important award. Dean Kirkwood, would you please stand so that we can recognize and thank you? gives me great pleasure to extend greetings to all of you as we formally open the new academic year. Each semester, we honor General Washington's tradition of service and leadership. Today, we celebrate service and leadership on our campus, among our alumni, in our community, our nation, and the world. Today, we also salute those students who make our work so rewarding, our most academically successful students who have excelled in their own intellectual pursuits. One of those students is Senior Jeffrey Sullivan, President of the Student Government Association. Jeffrey will deliver greetings on behalf of the students of Washington College.
Thank you, President Reese. I would like to extend to the Board of Visitors and Governors, Washington College alumni, faculty, staff, students, and of course those whom we gather to honor here today, a most heartfelt welcome from the student body. This ceremony marks the start of our academic year, a beginning of classes, yes, but also for first-year students, their Washington College career. In a way, this ceremony marks the beginning of everything that happens for their next 4 years and all that this institution can give them. For returning students, it is less a beginning than a continuation, a renewal of the challenge to put as much energy and vigor into themselves and the college as the faculty and staff will put into them throughout their full experience. Whatever position our students find themselves in, know this: for each member of the WC community, the new year holds challenges, surprise, opportunities, and above all else, an excitement for the unknown. This passion for discovery is a fire that burns readily in the minds of this population. Discovering our passions, our values, our career interests, and on a whole, ourselves, is all part of what the faculty, staff, family, and supporters of the college enable us to do with nothing more than your time, your gifts, your advice, and your mere presence. For this service, we owe you greatly. So again, on behalf of the students, thank you for coming today. And please enjoy your time here at Washington College, the place that we are all proud to call our home.
Thank you, Jeffrey. It's my privilege now to introduce Mr. John Moog to deliver greetings on behalf of the Board of Visitors and Governors. Mr. Moog is an emeritus member of the board. He is Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Moog & Company and an alumnus of Washington College. John.
Thank you, President Reese. I'm here to give the faculty a raise and the students 2 weeks off. Yeah, you guys deserve it. We're working hard to get you there. Now, on behalf of the board, let me first start out and welcome 3 new additions to the faculty and the staff, and they're great additions. Gary Grant, Vice President for Advancement, hails from Texas, and is going to be very much a part of bringing this college to new heights. Award-winning poet, Daniel Mark Epstein, who's the Patrick Henry Fellow. And visiting artist in residence, John Rupert, whose works are currently showing at the Cole Gallery. If we could give them a round of applause. So most important, I want to welcome the freshmen out there. You may not know what the Board of Visitors and Governors is. It is the governing entity of the college. There are 34 board members and 23 emeritus members. And these are talented and successful people from all walks of life. And they're on this board because they care about Washington College and they care about you. And you need to avail yourself of that asset. There's not one of us that wouldn't drop what we're doing any time of day to provide you with any guidance, advice, and support you need. So call on us, and I'm serious about that. Get to know who we are, and we're here to help you and help you with your future after college as well. And don't wait until the summer after college when all of a sudden it hits you, my God, I need a job. Do it now. The namesake of our college, George Washington, of course, gave us our independence. And Washington College, for the last 11 nights, has provided you, for the first time, no curfew. So, welcome to independence. It's a wonderful thing, isn't it, guys? 40 years ago, I was standing where you're standing now. So, as Yogi Berra said, it's deja vu all over again. And truth be told, my wife and daughters think I'm actually an 18-year-old boy trapped in a 58-year-old man's body, because that time really did mean a lot to me, and it's going to mean an awful lot to you. And trust me, you're not going to forget these first couple days and the weeks and months and years ahead. You know, when I first got here, I had to haul up a 30-pound manual typewriter and about 150 pounds of stereo equipment up to my room. This is all you guys got to carry. This is your whole world in here, you know? But in more ways than not, nothing much has changed. You know, you're now beginning the process of preparing for the rest of your life. And if your parents haven't told you, I'll tell you now, these are among the 4 best and most enjoyable years you ever had. And I think it's safe to say that there's nobody behind me that wouldn't mind repeating the experience you guys are starting out on. Let me give you just real quick couple pieces of advice. Be open to people differently. Don't migrate to those you already know and are comfortable with. Be curious, challenge yourself, think outside of the box. Get to know this community, get to know Chestertown, get to know the county, get to know the river, get to know the geography. It's different. It's not urban, suburban area, but it's fun and you'll love it after a while. Immerse yourself with the faculty. Get to know them. They're not like high school teachers. They will become mentors and counselors to you. In fact, many of them will be your friends for life. Finally, take advantage of every aspect of this institution. There's so much to offer, from drama to sports to economics. I mean, the gamut's here. The world's your oyster. Above all, have fun. Thank you.
Thank you very much, John. As president of this historic institution, I speak for generations of donors dating all the way back to General Washington himself, who have dedicated significant time, talent, and treasure into what they believe to be an essential investment in America's future. It's a legacy that our alumni, parents, and friends continue to embrace through their support of the Washington Fund, which helps underwrite need and merit-based scholarships for our talented students. It's important for our first-year students, and indeed for all our students, to know that no matter what you pay to attend Washington College, it does not cover the full cost of your educational experience. The difference is made up by the generosity of our donors. One day you will be asked to help support future generations of students like yourselves, and I hope you will answer the call. Shortly upon coming to Chestertown 3 years ago, I asked our alumni to dig a little deeper into their wallets to help us enhance the educational experience for all our students. As an added incentive, we asked each class to try to outshine the other classes in a little friendly competition. Today, I am pleased to announce our winners, recognizing those classes with the most generous alumni as measured in both the percentage of class participation and in overall dollars. I invite representatives from each class to join me on stage as I announce the winner of each trophy. Beginning with the trophies for the graduates of the last decade. For the highest participation rate among recent classes, the Golden Goose Trophy goes to the class of 2012. Will Antoine Jordan, Stefan Jordan, and Jesse Schaefer come on up to accept the award on the behalf of the class of 2012? Next, it is my pleasure to present the Victory Bell Trophy for the largest total gift to the college from a class that graduated in the last decade. This award is presented for the second consecutive year to the class of 2003, who gave over $20,000. Congratulations to the class of 2003. Will Sheila Austrian and Dean Zhang please come on up to accept the award on behalf of their classmates? Setting the bar high for their 50th reunion this year, I proudly present the William Smith Trophy to the class of 1964 for achieving the highest participation rate of giving at 61%. Murdy Atkins, Alexander Dick, Phil Tillman, and Carolyn Tillman are here to accept the award on behalf of the class of 1964. Please come on up. The next award we recognize today is brand new this year. Created in sincere appreciation for the class beyond its 50th reunion that made the largest total gift to Washington College, the Chesapeake Cup goes to the class of 1955 for their class's combined giving of $63,500. Barbara Townsend Cromwell, William Barnett, and L. Franklin Ferris are here to accept the award on behalf of the class of 1955. Please come on up. Finally, please join me in giving a huge round of applause for the class of 1985, represented here by Christopher Buckheister, John Warrington, and Cicely Lyle. They received the coveted George Washington Trophy for raising the largest total gift from a single alumni class, over $120,000. Thank you all for your generous contributions. At this time, I would like to introduce the chair of the Washington College Alumni Board, Valerie Shepard, from the class of 1986, to present the Alumni Horizon Ribbon Award.
Good afternoon. Established and passed by the full Alumni Board on April 25th, 2009, the Alumni Horizon Ribbon was created as a means of formally identifying and recognizing recent alumni of the past 15 years. The award is given to an alumnus or alumna who has demonstrated outstanding leadership, service, or scholarship in a particular area. This year, we are delighted to honor William Burke. Bill, will you please join me on the stage? As part of an interdisciplinary team of scholars at one of the world's leading research and teaching institutions, William J. Burke, class of 2000, is seeking solutions to the persistent problems of global hunger, poverty, and environmental degradation caused by agricultural practices worldwide. The research scholar at Stanford University's Center on Food Security and the Environment is one of the world's top experts on agricultural issues in the Guinea Savannah region of Africa. His primary focus has been on effectiveness of Zambia's fertilizer subsidy program. Every day, the former drama and economics major, winner of the Stewart Drama Award, calls on the lessons he learned at Washington College, challenge the status quo, ask why, and dig deeper into the data for viable alternatives. Why, he asks, have poverty levels in Zambia remained stagnant despite the government's efforts to improve agricultural production? Bill Burke draws on the skills he developed on the Thor's Theater stage to communicate effectively with the agronomics and policymakers who can make informed decisions and help break the cycle of poverty and hunger in this African nation. A freshman seminar titled "The United States and the World Economy" first sparked Bill's interest in global economics. Mentored by Lisa Daniels, the Hodson Trust Associate Professor of Economics, Bill enlisted as a Peace Corps volunteer in the Gambia after graduation and went on to earn a master's degree and a PhD in agricultural economics from Michigan State University. Imbued with the values of scholarship, critical thinking, and service, Bill is truly making a difference, bringing his expertise as an agricultural obviously I'm not an economy major, agricultural economist to bear for the betterment of others. In recognition of the work to feed a nation, Washington College is pleased to recognize him with the Alumni Horizon Ribbon Award. Congratulations.
Thank you, Valerie, and congratulations again, Bill. We are very proud of your accomplishments. I'd like to note that drama majors have now won the Horizon Ribbon Award every year since its inception. Professor Volansky made me say this. At this time, I would like to invite Professor Philip Walsh, president of the Theta of Maryland, Washington College's chapter of Phi Beta Kappa. Dr. Walsh will present the Phi Beta Kappa First Year Awards for Excellence in Liberal Learning. Dr. Walsh.
It is my privilege to be here today to represent the Theta of Maryland. Founded on December 5th, 1776, Phi Beta Kappa is the oldest and most prestigious honor society in the United States. For over 230 years, the society has been a leading advocate for the ideals of a liberal arts education. Our chapter normally initiates seniors during their spring semester. However, the awards presented today are given annually to rising sophomores who excelled academically in their first year of studies at Washington College. When I call your names, please join me on the stage, and audience, please hold your applause until the end. Stephen Alcott, Shane Benz, Nicole Capobianco, Emily Aline, Megan Harrison, Sean Haney, Laurel Jones, Yordis Lorenz, Marcela Morales Quezada, Grace O'Connor.
You're so smart, you can figure it out. Thank you, Dr. Walsh, and congratulations to the first-year students. I hope we can formally welcome you into Phi Beta Kappa in a few years' time. It's now my privilege to call upon the Provost and Dean of the college, Dr. Emily Chamley-Wright. Dr. Chamley-Wright will present academic honors for the 2012-2013 academic year.
Thank you, President Reese. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to this academic year, and it gives me particular pleasure to bestow these honors upon the students who have seized with both hands all of the opportunities available at Washington College. Will the students please come forward when I call your names? The first-year scholarship medal given annually to the student or students who attain the highest academic average during their first year. There are 3 recipients this year: Nicole Capobianco, Sean Thomas Haney, Yordis Severina Lorenz. The Alumni Medal awarded to the member of the sophomore class who attains the highest academic average for the year. Again, here there are 3 recipients this year: Emily Rachel Eiler, Sean Philip Kraus, Kendall Louise Rich. And Governor's Medal, given annually to the junior who attains the highest academic average for the year. This year's winner is Jeffrey D. Sullivan. Fraternity Pan-Hellenic Council Awards, held annually by the sorority and the fraternity achieving the highest scholastic average for the preceding year. The sorority is Zeta Tau Alpha. And the fraternity is Kappa Sigma. Scholars, given annually by the Middendorf Foundation to rising seniors for academic excellence and leadership qualities. This year we have 3 recipients: James Camato, Katie Despo, Jeffrey Sullivan. Environmental Studies Scholar, given annually by the Middendorf Foundation to a rising senior for academic excellence and leadership qualities. This year's recipient is Catherine Wares.
Thank you, Emily. Congratulations again to each of these students for their academic achievement. It now gives me great pleasure to introduce our faculty honoree. Professor Emeritus Timothy Maloney was a recipient of the 2013 Alumni Association's Award for Distinguished Teaching. In years past, the honoree was recognized only at commencement. Today, we start a new tradition of also recognizing the honoree at the fall convocation. Professor Maloney, will you please join me up at the dais? Today we celebrate a lifetime of achievements of a professor who epitomizes excellence in teaching, scholarship, and service to Washington College. One of the most beloved teaching professionals in this school's history, Timothy Maloney reached legendary status for creating and sustaining a learning environment where students were given the freedom to experiment and to grow as artists, activists, and philosophers. Professor Maloney's intellectual star power runs the gamut from various styles and methods of acting and playwriting to diverse eras of theater history that range from the Greeks and Romans to a special class on female writers that he called Women on Top. He is also a gifted performer in his own right, as anyone who saw him as King Lear last semester can attest. But his true talent lies in engaging students in the creative process and pushing them to defy conventions, to dare to think differently, and to consider how their decisions and choices affect others, both on and off the stage. Over the course of the past 47 years, his has been a masterpiece performance. In recognition of Tim's lasting contributions to the Department of Drama in particular, and to the ethos that characterizes Washington College in general, we hereby recognize Timothy Maloney, the 2013 recipient of the Alumni Award for Distinguished Teaching.
The 16th century English poet and playwright Christopher Marlowe wrote, there is no sin but ignorance. And lucky us, here we are at the very gates of deliverance. I mean Washington College, not my address. I am honored and flattered to be here. After accepting the invitation from President Reese, I experienced trepidation of breathtaking proportion. What in the world am I going to talk about? The keynote address at the convention opening the college career for many of you, and honoring significant achievements for many others. I tried to remember if there had been an address at the opening convocation when I started college. I gave up on that. I then turned to what college has been to me. Calculating how long I've been in college, that promised to be a formidable task. But I persevered. Two things assumed an unavoidable repetition in my thinking. First, the more I learned, the more curious I became. And I liked that. Second, the more I learned, the less I realized I knew. The more I had still to learn. I like that too. There's a connection between those two somewhere. My field is theater. I've been doing it and teaching it for a long time. I'm still working at it. I'm officially retired from teaching, but I have not retired from studying. My college may lack the specific designation of yours, but it's just as real, a bit more relaxed, more deconstructed than my former colleagues. The struggle to resist the sin of ignorance, particularly one's own, has no end. I want to talk about curiosity and its connection to creativity. Standard definitions of curiosity include an eager desire to know, inquisitiveness, the quality of being curious, strangeness, something strange or fascinating, a rare or strange object, interest, prying, snooping, oddity, wonder, spectacle, marvel, novelty, rarity. It covers a lot of ground. My interest here is, first, the phenomena which give rise to our inquisitiveness, our curiosity. And secondly, curiosity itself, the desire to know. And thirdly, the connection of both to creativity. Why? Well, it has seemed to me that the most creative students with whom I have had the pleasure to work have been also the most given to curiosity, the most inquisitive, the most susceptible to wonder. Let me begin with a brief history of an ancestor of the current curious and extraordinary vehicle for the display of oddity, wonder, spectacle, marvel, novelty, and rarity, YouTube. I'm referring to the equally popular and addictive entertainments of 19th century America, often referred to by theater historians as curiosities. Curious. There was a YouTube before YouTube, pre-electronic. Well, it wasn't exactly the same. The 19th century version lacked the opportunity to upload, but possessed a similar range and variety of material, and I think you'll see the common ground. The 19th century display of the curious began as crowd-pleasing additions to standard dramatic performances. In 1832, Playbill from a theater in Mobile, Alabama, announced the performance of Molière's play Tartuffe, to be followed by an entertainment by Mr. Belmont, who was billed as the Fire King of the West, who will, I quote from the playbill, eat a supper composed of live coals, heated rosin, burning brimstone, etc. It's the etc. that makes me most curious. An 1839 playbill from the Camp Street Theater in New Orleans announced the appearance of a very popular father-son act, specialized in replacing the severed head of a rooster and exhibiting what they called a philosophic fish, who wrote with a pen any words or numbers desired. Animals began making frequent appearances on the stage. Lions, dogs, cats, monkeys, and apes were occasionally given lead roles. But the most memorable performance was given by an elephant with the stage name of Mademoiselle de Gic. She toured the eastern states in the Elephant of Siam. She was so popularly received that the highly respected tragic actor Thomas Abthorpe Cooper rented an elephant to appear with him in a benefit performance. In the climactic moment of this startling drama, the rented Mamselle, with Cooper and his leading lady sitting unsteadily on her back, walked across the stage and deposited an unexpected but very noticeable dramatic complication on the stage floor, which according to one actor's account brought great astonishment and discomfiture to the musicians and the cast. Audience curiosity for greater variety at less cost was satisfied by the opening of new commercial public amusements called dime museums. Dime museums because purportedly they charged only a dime, which was not true. Generally, they charged 25 cents for adults and a dime for children. They were extremely popular during the second half of the 19th century. They flourished, remaining opening 12 hours a day, Monday through Saturday. Charles Gunther of Peru, Illinois, opened a museum on the second floor of his candy store, where he exhibited what he claimed was the Egyptian mummy of the Pharaoh's daughter who had discovered Moses on the banks of the Nile. His patrons were also able to view the skin of the serpent that tempted Eve in the Garden of Eden. The most recognizable name of these dime museum entrepreneurs is P.T. Barnum. Barnum opened his first museum in 1841 with constantly changing exhibits and performances. He featured Siamese twins, fat boys, bearded ladies, rubber men, a variety of very short and very tall people. He produced baby shows in which he awarded cash prizes to the fattest, smartest, talented, tallest, and prettiest babies. He added flower, dog, bird, and poultry shows. He proudly described his museum as an encyclopedic synopsis of everything worth seeing in this curious world. Isn't that familiar? He operated his Barnum's American Museum in New York City for 23 years and claimed to have sold 30 million tickets. An 1849 program boasted that the museum contained 600,000 curiosities. An 1864 program boasted a collection of 850,000, both of which are highly inflated, I'm sure. But where does that get us? Curiosities. Curiosities are abundant and timeless. The existence and accessibility of the strange or fascinating or rare may arouse curiosity and inspire creativity. My hypothesis, drawn from personal experience and observation, is that curiosity feeds creativity. Creativity could be a response to your own curiosity, and your curiosity could be a response to someone else's creativity. Curiosity may or may not be classified as instinctive, but history and observation suggest that it is common in humans and in cats. Maybe curiosity, like creativity, grows stronger with use and diminishes only from neglect, complacency, and presumption. For example, I remember being required to read Gustave Flaubert's novel Madame Bovary when I was an undergraduate student. I now admit to not keeping it high on my list of things to reread, or to holding it in a continuing state of wonder and delight and curiosity. So I was quite surprised to read in New York Times recently that, I quote, Gustave Flaubert reportedly once said that he wrote his novels to resemble a particular color. In Madame Bovary, he remarked, all I was after was to render a special tone, that color of the moldiness of a wood louse's existence. Well, now I'm curious. Now I am determined to read the novel again, this time with greater inquisitiveness. Earlier this month, my wife and I went to see the Edward Hopper exhibit at the Whitney Museum in New York. And on the following Sunday in the New York Times again, I was introduced to a small sampling of the Lake George paintings of Georgia O'Keeffe. In both instances, I was overwhelmed by a new and unexpected experience of two artists who I thought I knew enough about. At the Hopper exhibit, I came literally face to face with the realization that I had closed into a fixed place my understanding and experience of the artist that did no justice to either his talent and creativity or to my experience of them. And that had stifled my curiosity, any curiosity that I had of Edward Hopper. I came to the same realization on viewing the early pre-New Mexico work of Georgia O'Keeffe. What a remarkable discovery and embarrassment. I had assigned both artists to a fixed place in my experience and appreciation and had ignored the indisputable truth that the seemingly fixed in the viewer's mind refuses to remain fixed in its own place. What fills you with eager desire to know, with inquisitiveness, with the quality of being curious? Remain curious, nurture your creative instinct, be vulnerable to experience, welcome wonder. Listen to your intuition, challenge what you think you know, and expect to be challenged by everything you encounter. P.T. Barnum was a scam artist, don't do that. But he was relentlessly curious about the world he lived in, and very creative in his response to what he found there. On his plus side, Barnum is also a very generous philanthropist, particularly toward his hometown, Bridgeport, Connecticut, which he also served as mayor before he ran off and joined the circus. And that's my exit cue. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Tim, for your remarks and your many, many years of dedicated service to this institution. Today, we've honored individuals who have set examples of accomplishment, integrity, and service to others, and who present role models for our students to follow. I'd like to take a moment to recognize a particularly distinguished alumna who has been devoted to this college for over 6 decades, Barbara Cromwell. Yesterday, Barbara and George Cromwell made a significant 7-figure gift of lasting importance to this institution. With their support, we will jumpstart a new chapter in the Center for Teaching and Learning at Washington College. Not only have they pledged ongoing funding for the center's operations, but they have also made a commitment toward the construction of the academic building on Washington Avenue, which will be home to the new Barbara and George Cromwell Center for Teaching and Learning at Washington College. This gift speaks volumes about their love of the college and our mission. On behalf of all of us at Washington College, including future generations of faculty and students, Barbara, we thank you and George for your generosity and passionate commitment to the personalized teaching that takes place here every day. This center will be a living legacy of enormous and lasting importance for us. I think I'm more emotional than you are about this. As we conclude our afternoon's convocation, I'd like to invite the audience to join us for a reception in the Underwood lobby, where you'll have a chance to meet and congratulate our honorees. Please stand and join a cappella in the singing of the alma mater. The words are printed on the back of your program. Then please continue standing for the benediction to be given by Reverend Garner, and remain standing until the academic procession has retired.
Washington, oh Washington, our Washington we do adore. We will fight for her honor, as her sons and daughters have before. So Washington, oh Washington, our Washington forevermore. She's our dear alma mater on the old eastern shore.
Let us pray. Dear God, thank you for today, for this convocation, for all the blessings of this life. Help us to focus our hearts and minds on what we are to learn this year. Inspire us by your Holy Spirit as we read and listen and write. Protect us in work and in play, in studies, sports, music, and artistic endeavors. Now may God bless you and keep you. May God's light shine upon you and be gracious to you. May you feel God's presence within you and around you always. Amen.